We begin with breaking news tonight. Calgary police are looking for the driver of a vehicle that hit two pedestrians and took off. It happened just before 4 o'clock this afternoon at the intersection of James McKevitt Road and Shannon Avenue in the southwest. Both pedestrians were rushed to hospital in non-life-threatening condition. So far, a vehicle description has not been released. Here's what else is making news tonight. A federal budget to drive economic growth.
The budget I present today comes at a time of profound change.
It also comes with a massive deficit. Does it deliver what Calgarians need?
There's some really good measures in here that are really, really important.
Plus, incidents of domestic violence are on the rise in Calgary.
We're trying to get people to come forward and speak up.
Tackling an insidious problem with community support.
Because bravery is choosing yourself, it's choosing safety.
And a life-changing win.
First, I read it wrong. I thought it was $360,000.
Nope. This Albertan is now deciding how to spend $36 million.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first ever federal budget focuses on driving economic growth while also projecting a deficit that is billions of dollars bigger than forecast a year ago. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver breaks down the budget highlights for us.
Couldn't be prouder of my finance.
We're ready. We're ready.
Nearly 7 months after getting elected, the Carney government has dropped its first budget, a 406-page book it promises will build Canada strong. Over the next 5 years, Ottawa intends to spend $141 billion in new measures that they project will bring in $51.2 billion in savings. Together, those measures will take Canada's deficit to $78.3 billion this year, dropping to $56.6 billion by 2029-2030.
To weather the storm of uncertainty, we will not lower our sails, Mr. Speaker. Quite the opposite. We will raise them to catch the winds of economic change.
One of the biggest expenditures, defense, with $81.8 billion in spending over 5 years. There's $20.4 billion for the military's recruitment and retention problems, $10.9 billion for upgrades, and $17.9 billion to expand new military capabilities, including procuring new armored vehicles.
It's a real big injection of money, but really interestingly, they don't provide any annual investment or expenditure total. There's no articulation of where year by year that would take us as a share of GDP.
There's also $51 billion over 10 years for a new Build Community Strong Fund to help fund new infrastructure projects, $1.7 billion for an international talent attraction strategy, and $13 billion over 5 years starting in 2025-2026 for Build Canada Homes. That includes $2.8 billion for Indigenous housing. One way Ottawa is bringing down the deficit through changes to the public service. Ottawa wants to shed 28,000 public sector jobs within the next 3 years through cuts, attrition, and a move to incentivize voluntary leave and early retirement. How much that alone will save and where the cuts are coming from is unclear. Ottawa is also hoping to save $60 billion over 5 years through modernization and government efficiencies.
To balance the budget this year, we'd have to eliminate vital social programs and all the capital investments needed for Canada's future. We chose a different path.
But aside from a promise to review bank fees and to automatically file taxes for lower-income Canadians, experts say there's little that will help with affordability.
I think if you're the average Canadian, you're looking at this budget, you're going to say, well, it doesn't change my life very much. You know, I'm concerned about affordability, I'm concerned about housing costs, and lots of concerns. It doesn't really address any of those things specifically.
Instead, many economists say the budget's aim is to create a better environment for business through measures like a so-called productivity super deduction.
This is a budget that focuses on capital investment because of the context that we are in right now. The economy is quite weak and is under attack because of the tariff issues, and we have a significant uncertainty in the Canadian economy, so businesses are not investing.
For the first time, the budget has been separated into capital investment and operational spending. By 2028-2029, this document anticipates that the operational budget will have a surplus of $1.7 billion. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
And to breaking news in Ottawa, a Conservative MP has crossed the floor to the Liberals. Nova Scotia's Chris D'Entremont resigned from the Conservative bench and has joined the Liberals. This move puts the Liberals 2 seats shy of a majority government and being able to pass their budget without opposition support. D'Entremont was first elected as an MLA in 2019 after sitting as a Nova Scotia Progressive Conservative MLA for 16 years. Back in Calgary, there is, of course, plenty of reaction to today's federal budget, too. Jacqueline Wilson joins us from City Hall tonight. So, Jackie, what seems to be standing out for people today?
Tara, really what's standing out is that the federal government is working to create a stable and a strong Canadian economy for this budget. And they're doing so because there's been a lot of instability from U.S. tariffs. But because they are focusing on that, there isn't a lot tailored towards the cost of living concerns that everyday Calgarians are experiencing, though the federal government does promise that some of the measures in these budgets could boost wages. It's a budget that's focusing on pro-business measures meant to increase productivity, a move that's being applauded by the Calgary Chamber of Commerce.
If you're looking at investing in a big project, there's that productivity super deduction that will reduce Canada's marginal effective tax rate by more than 2%, and that'll secure Canada's advantage as having the lowest rate in the G7. That's huge. We have needed to attract capital for a very long time, and we have not been competitive.
This, paired with the ending of the emissions cap, she says, will have huge impacts on the energy industry.
This is really, really important, especially if you think about the fact that we have LNG Canada 2. We have other LNG projects that are on the horizon. We have discussions about a pipeline. There's discussions about pathways. And, you know, whether Keystone XL materializes or not. But anything that has a big price tag associated with it.
For Alberta Finance Minister Nate Horner, he's hoping for clarification on energy action.
Well, there's a few mentions of pipelines in this budget, but it's very vague. They do talk about a carbon pipeline. They don't reference, a bitumen pipeline to the West Coast specifically. So there's some clarity needed there. I'd say also they reference things like not needing an emissions cap, but we're going to need to understand how they'll tangibly get there.
In the coming days and weeks, the city and province will be going through the 400-plus page document, seeing how it will impact our local budget.
The budget that's been tabled, I think, has some really good positive first steps, a commitment to working with municipalities to addressing some of the housing, infrastructure, and safety challenges. And we consider it to be a very first, quite optimistic about this very first step. But again, this budget's going to be judged based on results and actions and not just words on paper.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
About 200 post-secondary teachers, students and staff skipped class today for an education solidarity rally. The Mount Royal Faculty Association held the walkout in support of the Alberta Teachers Association and its members. As Tim Brooke reports, their focus is on the province's use of the notwithstanding clause.
Some faculty members at Mount Royal University say now is the time for noise.
It's something that all Albertans should be concerned about when the province can so easily strip away our rights under the charter.
And so a rally in front of the university to speak for workers and unions after the notwithstanding clause was invoked by Alberta's government to end the teacher strike.
We're not going to sit by quietly, and hopefully they would rescind the invocation.
The clause stopped a province-wide strike centered around wages and working conditions, but some labor experts have deemed it a needlessly aggressive move.
The courts are shut down through the notwithstanding clause, but they also can't turn to the human rights boards or the labor relations board, and so really the government's leaving the teachers with no collective bargaining rights and no ability to challenge any of that.
The education minister says after 2 failed ratification votes and 3 weeks out of class, it was time to move on.
It was incredibly important to get students back into school, but also to ensure that the legislature retains the complete authority over policy decisions that affect the province, because elected individuals have to be held accountable at the end of the day, and we have to make the final decisions versus unelected courts.
Still, here, that's not a good enough reason. Other post-secondary faculty members say there should have been another chance at finding a compromise.
We are bringing up the people that will run this country and this province decades from now. And to invest in that future is a bold investment from the government to say that we want to be the biggest, we want to be the best.
And Tim joins us now. Tim, the education minister, says he wants to work with the teachers union to address in-classroom challenges.
Well, the minister met with the premier this morning, Tara, to chat about some of those challenges you mentioned there. First on that duo's to-do list is to create a class size and complexity task force that will collect annual data and then report it all back to the government. Danielle Smith has said in the past that she really hopes that teachers and education assistants will play a large role in that initiative. Tara, we should expect to hear a little bit more about that task force creation in the coming days.
Okay, Tim, thank you. UCP MLAs have voted against a contract extension for Alberta's Auditor General as he investigates the procurement of private surgical facilities at AHS. Doug Wiley's 8-year term ends in April, but he offered to stay on for 2 more years to complete his work. He's looking into the province's health procurement process after conflict of interest allegations were made by the former head of Alberta Health Services. Yesterday, UCP members voted for a search committee to start the process to fill Wiley's role.
You're watching CTV News Calgary.
One lucky Albertan is now $36 million richer. A Whitecourt business owner who has deep roots here in Calgary was presented with his giant check today. He says he has no idea what he plans to do with the money, but he vows to remain humble and invest wisely. Here's Tyson Fedor.
I won the Lotto 649.
A statement many Canadians wish they could make, and Stacey Boyce can. $36 million, all in exchange for his $19 purchase of a Quick Pick Lotto 649 gold ball ticket that he bought in October.
I was just running in town to grab some more propane and check my ticket and didn't really believe it at first.
It was in Hinton, Alberta, where the winning ticket was purchased last month.
First, I read it wrong. I thought it was $360,000. I don't think it's quite set in yet, but I'm planning on going back to work right after this.
Boyce owns a logging truck business. He says the money will help purchase some new trucks for it as he looks to expand it. But he says he has no plans for most of the money quite yet, other than buying a boat next spring and fulfilling his daughter's wish of getting a pony.
Hopefully we can keep things pretty humble and the same that we've been doing.
Albertans have won big before when it comes to lottery tickets.
We always have that chagrin of, hey, it's always won in Ontario. Actually, Alberta does very well for itself, and Calgary as a city does well too.
The winning number that Boyce had was 303-670-74-01. The ball drawn was gold, attached to it $36 million.
When you say you won $36 million, nobody believes you.
For Boyce, financial experts suggest being patient with the money.
Just take a breath and take what we call a bit of a cooling off period. So if you can, upwards of 6 months, try not to make any major life decisions.
Decisions such as quitting your job or buying a bigger house.
We'll need to build the right team around you. I'd highly recommend a quality financial planner, an accountant to make sure you're structured right from a tax perspective, and then a state lawyer because you'll have to get some wills done as well.
And if you want to be just like Boyce and Canada's next millionaire, you can.
Yeah, you got to keep buying the tickets.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Boyce says his biggest win before this jackpot was about $60. Supermoon is lighting up the sky tonight. It's the biggest and brightest full moon of the year. This is a live look at the supermoon. It's now within 357,000 kilometers of Earth. Since the moon's orbit isn't a perfect circle, it gets nearer and farther as it swings around our planet. Supermoons happen a few times a year. Tonight's is the second, with another expected in December. Danielle joins us now. We have the beauty of a clear sky tonight, and that really helps.
Exactly, yes. It's clear and the winds are calm, and it's not that cold out. We're sitting at 2 degrees right now. So if you want to put a coat on, go take a nice peek. absolutely do that. It's pretty stunning out there. All right, winds at this point just 13 kilometers per hour at the airport. So we've had calm winds all day. When we look at the next 24 hours, though, tomorrow will be a gusty one. We'll get back up to 40 kilometer per hour gusts. And the key thing for tomorrow, well, one of the key things, it will be cool to start with a wind chill of -11 at 8 a.m. We haven't had that in a while. And even the risk of freezing rain and some snowflakes. More details on this coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Just ahead, concern that first responders in Alberta living with PTSD are not getting the care they need. Family members and advocates say there's a delay in care. We'll tell you what they're asking for to ensure claims are better handled. And a Calgary family is asking for help as their 18-month-old daughter fights an aggressive childhood cancer. Those details still to come. The RCMP Major Crimes Unit in BC is investigating after someone was hit and killed by a vehicle. Mounties released a photo of a truck they say hit a pedestrian outside an A&W in Sparwood, BC on Sunday. A man was killed, and investigators now want to hear from anyone who saw the truck and the driver in the area before the incident. Families and advocates for those living with post-traumatic stress disorder claim first responders in Alberta are facing a crisis in care. They say the Workers' Compensation Board and other insurance providers are denying and delaying access to treatment, which they believe is forcing many back to the front lines too soon. Here's Terry Fikowski.
They broke my husband. They broke him, and nobody seems to care enough to want to fix him.
Angela Smith has watched her husband's mental health deteriorate to a desperate level over his 20 years with the Calgary Police Service.
We're unable to sleep in the same room because it's just not safe. His nightmares are bad.
He sought help in 2021 but was back at work a year later, which she says was too soon. In 2023, he went on another leave and was diagnosed with PTSD, impacting the whole family, including their 6-year-old daughter.
She thinks I'm the funny one in our family, and I'm not the funny one. And that's heartbreaking to me because she doesn't get to see him the way he was.
Smith says it was a long battle for the Workers' Compensation Board to approve her husband's claim so he could receive treatment. In Alberta, PTSD is presumed to be work-related for first responders, meaning they're automatically covered unless proven otherwise. But advocates say that's not happening.
Nothing but denials, red tape, bureaucracy, and sometimes many of our first responders are being forced back to work.
The organization says of the 792 psychological injury claims filed by Alberta first responders in 2021, only 565 were accepted. WCB refutes the interpretation of the numbers, saying claims under presumptive PTSD legislation would only be denied if there isn't a confirmed diagnosis or if medical evidence shows it's not work-related, though some experts say that's not the case.
WCB has adopted a different definition of post-traumatic stress disorder, and so is disallowing a number of claims despite first responders who've been diagnosed with PTSD by a physician or by a psychologist.
Smith just wants first responders who are suffering, like her husband, to receive the care they desperately need.
It seems that the goal is to get them back to work at all costs. We're the ones that are paying the cost on that.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.
Fire damaged a restaurant in the Beltline overnight. Investigators say the flames appear to have started on the back deck of Bridget Bar and spread. Damage is estimated at between $200,000 and $300,000. There is no word on a cause, but investigators are asking for anyone with information or video of the fire before they got there to reach out. A new system that scans for weapons will be set up in an Edmonton hospital. It's a pilot project, and if successful, it may be used in many more hospitals across the province to protect caregivers on the front line. CTV's Gates Guarin has more.
A detector like this may be coming to Alberta hospitals. It's used to detect concealed weapons like guns and knives. It's all part of a proposed 2-year pilot project Alberta Health Services wants to try at the Royal Alexandra Hospital. In a statement, AHS says it's looking at enhanced security possibilities through the request for proposal process to further reduce the number of weapons entering the emergency department. The Health Sciences Association of Alberta says any added security is welcome.
We're dozens of incidents and injuries at Royal Alexandra Hospital every month. And that's a large urban hospital right in the center of Edmonton. And really, it can't be seen as normal. Like, this is not normal.
Hospitals in Windsor and Winnipeg already have these detectors in place. Winnipeg's Health Sciences Center says over 1,600 items, including knives and blunt objects, have been detected since they were installed back in February. The company behind those detectors says the tech is bringing confidence back to hospital workers.
We're very pleased that we can deliver a solution that not only creates safer environments, but actually is not only keeping the hospital safe for the patients, but also for the caregivers too.
The proposal is still currently open, and Extract One plans on participating. The HSAA will be keeping a close eye on the pilot project with the hopes it will bring added safety measures.
We're going to watch closely. We don't know exactly. We're hoping it works as intended. We're fully support any measures that will increase the safety. Again, with these incidences rising continuously, it's becoming a real concern.
AHS says it will determine if any permanent equipment will be used for Alberta emergency departments in the future. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now with a closer look at our 5-day forecast because things are changing a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I want to make sure you're prepared for the cool down for tomorrow morning. Off to work, off to school. With the wind chill, it will feel like -11 at 8 a.m. That's a key thing for tomorrow, along with the chance of freezing rain, so it may even be a little slick out there on the sidewalks in some isolated areas and roads. All right, we're at 2 degrees right now. We got to a high of just 6 today, and we've already cooled down pretty significantly. It's -3 in Banff and Brooks at the moment, -1 in Drumheller and Lethbridge. And wind chill is starting to kick in. Yep, it's that time of year, early November. We held off for quite a while though. Okay, as you can see, radar and satellite, nothing to talk about right now. There is a stateside system that predominantly has stayed stateside today. Things are going to change though, and what we're looking at for the next 3 days is off and on moisture possible. And I say moisture because it's more of that mixed precipitation. Raindrops, snowflakes, and even some freezing rain to throw into the mix as well. All right, here's the feed of moisture. We're going to get some cooler air really spill into this system as well as it develops over Alberta, and that's going to change the game for us here. And so tonight we're looking at the cloud cover increasing, especially while we're sleeping. This is a look at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and you can see snowflakes possible, even some freezing rain, and then to the far south, most likely a rain event because temperatures will be a little warmer, but really up Highway 2 to Calgary, freezing rain is possible. It should be isolated, it should be light, so it shouldn't be a lot, but we do have the potential of some slick areas for sure. Keep that in mind. And then by the supper hours, because we'll be warm enough, we're looking at a rain event. It shouldn't be too heavy and it shouldn't last too long because as you can see, this system will be impacting central Alberta, but we will see some spill down, and then we're going to have that colder air filter in behind this, so you'll notice quite a difference in temperature as we arrive into Friday. And Friday we may kick it off, as you can see, with this rain, snow, freezing rain mix as well in southern Alberta. Calgary down Highway 2 over to Medicine Hat is the possibility Friday morning, which is why your Action Furnace 5-day forecast looks like this. So again, tomorrow, rain, snowflakes, and even some freezing rain mixed in with that. A wind chill of -11 at 8 a.m. and in the afternoon getting to a high of 6. On Thursday will be warmer. We have the chance of showers in the morning, and then that rain, snow, freezing rain mix arrives back again Friday morning, and Friday just a high of 3 degrees. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. A Calgary family is facing long hospital stays, financial strain, and emotional challenges, but they are refusing to give up. Their 18-month-old daughter is fighting an aggressive childhood cancer. Mark Villani has more on why they're turning to community support for help.
Give Dad a kiss.
For Jessica and Joseph Daniels, their little girl Aurora is their entire world.
She is such a happy baby. You can't ever catch her down. She's just a joy to be around.
From her first time on a swing set to her very first steps, the joys of childhood were moving fast until they came to a grinding halt.
She had a lump near her eye, really pale, and we weren't sure about it, so we brought her in. It was heartbreaking.
At just 11 months old, Aurora was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma, a common cancer for children that had already spread to her abdomen and bones. She's undergone chemotherapy and immunotherapy at the Alberta Children's Hospital, but surgery and a stem cell transplant are expected to follow.
When it has spread, we need to do very aggressive treatment that takes at least 1.5 years for children to complete. And even with this therapy, the survival rate is only about half of all children.
Often confused with a form of brain cancer, neuroblastoma starts in cells called neuroblasts found throughout the body. Researchers are still working to find a cure.
Trying to look at the genes that are abnormal within the neuroblastoma tumors and to see if we can find particular genes that we could then target with drugs.
So she has quite a journey ahead of her. We burned through our savings pretty fast.
Both parents are now on a leave from work to care for their child as a GoFundMe page aims to raise enough money to keep them afloat. Meanwhile, others say families need more support. And Tanya Palmer is an advocate for young cancer patients. Her son Nathaniel is a 3-time cancer survivor, but she says faster access to treatments is still needed in Canada.
We have world-renowned oncologists here. They need to be given some better tools. They need to be given better funding.
But this family is still holding out hope, pledging to never give up on their baby girl.
Everybody deserves to see their baby happy and healthy.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
And for more information on how to support Aurora and her family, you can visit our CTV Calgary website. Calgary police are concerned about a spike in domestic violence, why they're bracing for even more calls, and where victims can turn for help. And we'll meet the Calgary dancers heading to Italy for the World Acro Dance Championships. Stay with us. Heading into the holiday season can be stressful, but that's actually not when domestic violence spikes, according to new data released by the Calgary Police Service. Police are responding to a lot more calls about abusive relationships this year, and they hope awareness about the help available will make a difference. Here's Alicia Fieldberg.
A young woman killed after getting a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend, and the Boxing Day slayings of a woman and her father by the man she was leaving are just some of the examples of domestic violence in Calgary over the past 12 months. While cases rise in the city, another woman who escaped her abuser years ago hopes sharing her story saves others.
My body's been bruised. I was essentially held captive for 9 months in my home. To look back, it was very abusive, but I was in it and I didn't realize it.
Calgary Police Service says the city is on pace to have more domestic violence incidents in 2025 than in any of the last 5 years. CPS responded to 3,592 incidents so far this year, 429 above the 5-year average of that time frame. Domestic violence can happen anywhere to anyone, but Calgary Police are seeing increases in certain months.
It does go down in December, and then it does spike in the end of January and start of February, but the biggest rise in calls for service was in the summer months.
Police advocates and survivors urge people to learn more about the red flags and seek help.
They will isolate them, they will control them, and that's part of the challenge, is to provide that hope, to provide empowerment.
There's also help for people who may become abusive.
So if men can recognize that they need help or they need a break, they're tired and frustrated or lost their job and they need help, and that support is there, so that hopefully that intervention can happen prior to violence in the home.
More often, police are seeing violent incidents after a relationship ends. Candace's friends convinced her to finally speak to police after getting strangled by her fiancé, and says support from officers, agencies, family, and friends has provided strength to now help others.
I've been able to take some dark times in my life and turn it into some kind of really bright opportunities. To anyone experiencing family violence, please reach out. You are not alone.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgarians experiencing abuse or violence in an intimate or family relationship are encouraged to reach out for help by calling 211. And we have more resources, including online options, on our website. A man has died at a BC ostrich farm where protesters have been opposing a proposed cull for months. Officials say they were called to investigate a sudden death early Monday morning after members of the police liaison team found an unresponsive man at the Universal Ostrich Farm. Investigators say there's nothing to suggest the man's death is suspicious. Well, we're hitting the trail with an experienced cyclist. Next, he's out almost every day with his dad, and he's got a lot to say about his journeys. Our trending videos are next. Two Calgary acro dancers are getting ready to step onto one of the world's biggest stages. They're heading to Italy to represent Canada at the World Championships. Kevin Green caught up with them as they rehearsed their routines this morning.
21-year-old Alex Lang and 16-year-old Serafina Kaloran have been selected to represent Canada at the World Championships of Acro Dance. Acro dance is a highly technical style that combines ballet, modern dance, and gymnastic tumbling, demanding both athleticism and artistry. For Lang, it's a return to the international stage. He's already won 2 world titles and is hoping to make it 3.
It's the Dance World Championships. They usually hold competitions all over Europe and North America, and it's basically the Olympics of dance, so it's super, super important for us dancers out here.
Lang, who's been coaching Kaloran, also trains under Vancouver choreographer Lexi Cox, who's designed his routine for this year's competition.
She's been a great mentor for a lot of us. I've known her for a few years, and she's really helped me become a better dancer, but also a better choreographer and teacher.
Preparation for the international competition is both physically and mentally demanding, with every move having to be perfectly executed, not on mats, but on hard stage floors. For Kaloran, it's her first trip to the World Championships and a dream come true.
I've worked really hard, especially over the past 2 years. So once I started working harder and started putting goals, like every month I said, like, I want to get this trick, and I would do everything that I could to get that trick.
She's hoping to follow in the footsteps of the acrobatic dancers she admires with Cirque du Soleil and show the world what young Canadian talent can do when passion meets dedication. Lang and Kaloran compete starting November 17th in Milan. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
And the competition will be live streamed by the International Dance Organization, and we have a link on our website. Boy, those two are amazing. Wow. Good luck to them. Okay, let's kick off trending with the thoughts of a very adventurous 1-year-old. Look at him go. This is Roro. He can barely walk, but he shreds like a pro. On a bike with his dad. They head out all the time. His dad mics him up. He can't stop talking. He just babbles the whole way, narrates the whole adventure for them.
That means he's having a good time.
Yeah.
But what also a cool trip for the dad, you know?
Yeah, you get to see it through your 1-year-old's eyes.
Yeah.
That's very cute. He's obviously enjoying himself, yeah. Well, now to a couple of chatbots who also don't know how to stop talking.
The pleasure is mine. I'm always here whenever you need me. Just take care and we'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Take care and we'll chat again soon. Have a great one.
You too.
Okay, this goes on and on
no
and
way.
on. So
I
these
just
are
realized.
2 ChatGPT personalities, but neither of them can say goodbye because they each want to get in the last word. So
of course,
it just goes on and on and on. Thank you. Anytime.
Yep.
No, thank you. Anytime.
It's like that person who wants the last bye.
Yes.
Bye, bye, bye,
Yes.
bye, bye, bye.
It's like Canadians trying to go through a door. After you. No, after you. No, after you. Well, have you ever wondered what people do with those massive award-winning pumpkins?
Yes.
Some carve them, others drop them. We showed you that yesterday. In this case, a giant gourd was donated for a good cause. This is Henry. He's a resident at a Northern Ontario polar bear habitat. You see him approaching that big 1,200-pound pumpkin. Took him a couple of minutes to figure it out and warm up to it, but then he carved it up like any jack-o'-lantern.
There you go.
And then he ate so much he passed out. That is Henry, sprawled out for a much-deserved nap.
That's all of us after Halloween.
Isn't it? Yes.
All the candy
Halloween,
and chocolate.
Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, any big meal, you just want to pass out on the ground.
Pumpkin didn't stand a chance.
No. Henry knew what to do. Some new homes are being built in Calgary at a rapid rate. Still to come, we look at how the modular homes are being assembled.
Your Skywatch weather camera on this dark evening. Yes, due to time change, it's gotten darker a lot quicker. But it's very nice out. The winds are calm. You've got the supermoon to look at tonight. The skies are still clear, but the clouds roll in tonight. And the game changes for tomorrow. Today was a reasonable temperature day. Normal is 5 degrees for this time of year. We got up to 6, so really right where we should be, and we're down to 2 because the sun has set and things are, of course, starting to cool. When we look at, so I had to pull in the wind chill map here because we're at that time of year. Look at the wind chill in Claresholm at the moment. -7 is what it feels like. That's the base temperature of -3. We're not dealing with wind chill just yet in Calgary because we're not below the freezing mark. Lethbridge feels more like -5. Pincher Creek more like -6 with that wind chill. And tomorrow morning in Calgary at 8 a.m., we're going to feel more like -11 with the wind chill. So be prepared for a chilly start to the day, the chilly that you haven't had in a while. Great for the mountains. We have snow in the mountains. But we have the potential for freezing rain tomorrow morning in the city. Also some snowflakes. And again, it will be cold and gusty, gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow afternoon, though, especially later in the day, we're looking at a high of 6 degrees. And by 4 p.m., we get into the chance of showers. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free.
The federal budget pegs the deficit at more than $78 billion. That is nearly twice the size of a forecast 1 year ago. The budget includes billions in extra spending on defense and infrastructure projects and cuts to public service jobs. Mount Royal faculty spearheaded an education solidarity walkout today. About 200 post-secondary teachers, students and staff rallied to support the Alberta Teachers Association. And a Whitecourt man with Calgary roots is celebrating a $36 million lottery win. Stacey Boyce won the October 15th Lotto 649 Gold Ball jackpot. Modular housing units constructed at a facility in Lethbridge are finding homes here in Calgary on former ATCO-owned land. The 16 three-bedroom townhomes and 16 one-bedroom units are under construction in Arbor Lake. Those will be ready for occupancy by early 2026. ATCO will get going on another project in the new year in Forest Lawn. Units are constructed in Lethbridge, taking 21 days to complete. ATCO says after the modules arrive on site, the plumbing, electric, and exterior covering gets completed, with the whole process taking about half the time of a traditional build.
Modular and middle housing isn't going to be a single knockout punch to what is a housing and affordability crisis, but for sure is it an underutilized form of construction and form of housing delivery? Absolutely, and we look forward to making this more commonplace.
The initial goal for the units are to be turnkey rental development properties. ATCO is looking at other cities to build modular homes in as well. It was a down day for North American markets as companies reported earnings, some that failed to meet investors' high expectations. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez.
Shopify reported big gains in revenue and profit for its third quarter. Revenue came in at $2.8 billion U.S., which is a 32% increase from the same period last year. Gross profit was up 24%. Still, shares were down close to 7% by the end of the trading day. Shopify, of course, is a massive e-commerce company run out of Ottawa. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to $70.94. West Texas Intermediate crude is down 49 cents to $60.56. Western Canadian Select is up to 49.51, and the TSX sank almost 500 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
If you know curling, then you know what an 8-ender is, so you also know how hard it is to pull off. This 88-year-old will tell you how it's done. That story is next.
Huge honour to be here at Windsor Castle. It's a huge honour to receive this from His Majesty the King, and you know, it's all round a very special day for us.
David Beckham was knighted by King Charles at a ceremony at Windsor Castle today, recognizing the former England captain and Manchester United player for his services to sport and charity. He was awarded the Order of the British Empire in 2003, and rumors about his knighthood have swirled for over a decade. Beckham played a key role in bringing the 2012 Olympics to London. Beckham's wife, Victoria, of course, also gets a new title, Lady Beckham. The Calgary Flames are back in action tomorrow night at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, it's a special game for one of the Flames veterans.
Tara, when Nazem Kadri steps onto the ice tomorrow night, he will reach a very big milestone. Kadri will play in his 1,000th NHL game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. What a career it's been for Kadri. In 999 games he's played, the veteran forward has scored 310 goals, added 410 assists. He won the Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche in 2022. Kadri's a leader on this team, and even though it's been a tough start to the season, he'd like nothing more than to get the team back in the playoffs. Kadri says tomorrow night is going to be very emotional.
It's exciting, for sure. I got lots of friends and family coming into town, and just to be able to share it with everybody, means a lot to me. So it's, I've been able to reflect over the last couple days, and kind of still hasn't quite sunk in yet, but I'm sure, with the ceremony and everything tomorrow, at some point it will.
Kadri says the best way to celebrate his 1,000th NHL game would be a victory over the Blue Jackets. The Flames also announced today that they have recalled defenseman Jan Kuznetsov from the Calgary Wranglers. Well, scoring an 8-ender is very rare in curling. Imagine doing it when you're in your 80s. That happened recently at the Garrison Curling Club. Ingrid Saunders has been curling for 50 years.
I love curling, the camaraderie, the challenge.
Recently, the 88-year-old skip and her team was up for the challenge. They did something most curlers never do. They scored an 8-ender.
Well, it wasn't planned, but after I seen 6 yellow stones, my mind was walking, and it worked. So our team played perfect, very well.
Team Saunders is all the talk right now at the Garrison Curling Club, and rightly so. The odds of scoring an 8-under is very rare.
A hole-in-one, the odds are 1 in 12,000, and an 8-ender in curling is 1 in 120,000. So most people don't even come anywhere close to it.
The unbelievable part of this story is it's not the first 8-ender for Flo Volko. She also did it back in 1992 at a women's bonspiel in Banff. This time around, the 81-year-old was throwing skip stones for Team Saunders. She was shocked to have yet another 8-ender.
Because I had a pacemaker put in, and this was my first day back curling. No warm-up, no anything. I got on the ice, and the curling gods were with me because I made 2 of the most perfect shots to take them out and give us an 8-ender.
Saunders says curling keeps her young, and she plans on playing for a little while longer.
Maybe 90. We hope a couple more years.
As for Volko, perhaps she should buy a lottery ticket.
People keep saying I did go buy one, but I didn't win.
Keep buying them.
Yeah. I love these ladies. How did you find these ladies?
Isn't
They're
that an awesome story?
Oh.
At that age, it was so cool.
Yeah. Team Saunders, that's awesome.
This is a lot of people doing amazing things and winning $36 million. 800's like, what a day. I can't say that the weather is going to maybe be your favorite tomorrow, unless you like wind chill. This is a terrible transition.
No.
I don't know how to get into this. I was trying to be positive about things and stuff. Okay, your wind chill for tomorrow at 8 a.m. is -11, so it'll be cold. Getting up to a high of 6. In the morning, we have the potential for snowflakes and even the risk of freezing rain. And then by about 4 in the afternoon, chance of showers. We get back into the double digits, though, on Thursday, just barely, with some showers. Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Now, here's something positive. Brent Chapman sent this in. Lake Louise Ski Resort open today.
Yeah, that's great. There's our peak weather news.
Yes.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.